Hello, this is Marshall Abrahams. I've been meaning to put this up for some time, the astonishing discovery that 70% of British men share their DNA with King Tutankhamun. Not only that, but 70% of Spanish men and 60% of Frenchmen. The concept is astounding enough and quite naturally seized hold of the public's imagination when it first appeared on the 1st of August 2011 in an article written by Alice Bagjian for Reuters. 3 days afterwards, Alex Helmich, then of World Radio Switzerland, interviewed Roman Scholz, MD, of iGenea, the Swiss DNA genealogy centre responsible for releasing the information to Reuters. I found this interview on YouTube, and the link is below. In it is mentioned a discovery programme from which iGenea is said to have taken the information. I do not have television, and I've been unable to find the discovery programme mentioned. If anybody watching this subscribes to Discovery and thinks that they might be able to have a look for it, I would be very grateful. It seems pretty unprofessional to take information from a television programme, doesn't it? And this is exactly the accusation levelled at iGenea, said to have cribbed from this discovery programme. However, anybody may take information from elsewhere and verify it or not, for him or herself. The source, I think, is immaterial and certainly does not constitute grounds for a wholesale rejection of subsequent findings. It is also a slur on the makers of the programme for Discovery. What is unprofessional is to conceal vital scientific information because it does not happen to suit whom? Politicians, most likely, their strings pulled by bankers, and some hidden anthropological agenda of theirs, since under 1% of Egyptian men have this haplogroup, what a dreadful word, haplogroup, R1B1A2. I'll come back to that. iGenea concluded that Tutankhamun and the 70% of British men, the 70% of Spanish men, and the 60% of Frenchmen who share this haplogroup descended from one man who lived about 9,500 years ago and came possibly from the Black Sea or the Caucasus. A glance at the map, with which we're now probably pretty familiar, shows how close this is to Mount Ararat, where Noah's Ark is said to have come to rest. This implies a date for, if not the flood, then certainly a flood of approximately 7,500 BC. However, there were many cataclysms by both flood and fire before the time of Noah, and Armenia, from which pretty much the rest of the world can be reached in any direction, is the ideal place for humanity to take refuge from these cataclysms and then to begin repopulating. Roman Scholz said that other pharaohs also had this haplogroup, but he didn't name them. Now, the Reuters article link is extremely long, and I'll put it below just in case there are some IT wizards out there. But when I went to have a look for it, it was a P404, not found. I tracked it down in the bibliography of a Wikipedia article, which I immediately saved and transferred to a Word document, and I've put it at the end so you can read it for yourselves. Predictably, the counterclaims began almost immediately after this article appeared. A website called Doug's Archaeology actually called the iGenea results a scam, which is fairly slanderous, I think. They were also attacked by Carsten Pusch, a geneticist at the University of Tübingen in Germany, but since the latter declined to release the Y chromosome data, which would prove iGenea either right or wrong, and which iGenea had had to resort to the Discovery programme to retrieve, I think his rebuttal can be dismissed. Those are the bare facts. Sad to say, this is more a story about academic shenanigans than about the astounding fact which they obscure. Why is nobody researching that 70% of British men, 70% of Spanish men, and 60% of Frenchmen, and who knows who else besides, share DNA with Tutankhamun, while only 1% of Egyptian men have the same DNA? This is an area which desperately needs a few geneticists with some guts and integrity to wade into. It also concerns Ireland, since the kings of Tara claimed descent from Tutankhamun's sister. It is 10 years since the Reuters article appeared, but the public doesn't seem to have forgotten. All I can do is bring this once again out into the public arena in the hope that someone has the qualifications to look into it. Thank you very much.